Welcome to Buzz Talk Live, Road Story Thursday. Originally from O'Donnell, Texas, Martin Olvera moved to Kissimmee, Florida, where he was a member of the Order the Arrows Tipasaw Lodge and teaching youths the art of powwow dancing with Mark Janowski. Soon after, Martin was performing with the Great Plains Dancers, showcasing powwow and specialty Native American dancing all over the world, from Austria to Cuba. When not performing, Martin's talents reside to the special events field, where he's working behind the camera as an operator and utilities in the staging business. He's here tonight to lend us his background with his culture and experience performing. Please remember to use that chat and welcome Martin to the show. How you doing, Martin?
Hi, how's everything going?
Pretty good,
Thank
buddy.
you.
How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
All right. Thank you for being available. And where are we tonight? Let's start there.
Okay, well, we are in Central Florida, as you stated. We are in Kissimmee. It's pronounced Kissimmee.
Kissimmee, of course,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah, if you're not local, it's Kissimmee. But usually, what we say is Kissimmee during the day and Kissimmee at night.
Kissimmee. I know. Everybody's making fun of me right now. That's fine. It's okay.
Okay, if people don't know where Kissimmee is at, it's south of Orlando. So basically, we're Disney's backyard.
Right.
That's where we're located at.
So, I brought you on the show because, you have not only that you work in our business and you're, fabulous what you do, but you're also, you have a talent in bringing your Native American tribal dancing, and you're an actor, and you have a lot of skills in that arena. So could you talk to me how, from your family heritage and how that all happened, and from where you were brought up in Texas. So let's start there in Texas.
Yeah, so we're from O'Donnell. It's a small town in Texas. It's you can take your hand and make it like Texas, but it's like the lower Panhandle, about right there. It's south of Lubbock. Lubbock's where Texas Tech University is, and north of. And there's another town, La Mesa, which is south of Lubbock, but in between them, that's where O'Donnell's at. When we moved, population I think was about 2,400 people,
Wow.
and right now it's like 826, or depends on who moves out or who moves in.
Yeah.
But so I mean, we moved out when we were young here at Kissimmee. Went to school here, and then when I started Scouts, got into the Order of the Arrow, and that's based around Indian lore, native lore.
Right.
And I sort of started learning dancing. Most native kids, they grow up in powwows, going to these festivals. So they start dancing before they could even walk.
Wow.
But me actually got introduced to it in the Order of the Arrow and Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I mean it's really fascinating that you stuck with it throughout all these years, and you guys are such a small community, and for what you do in performing, I mean you got a long list of performances that you've done, from working in Disney World, and we'll go through the stuff, and you have a very impressive background with all this, what you do. And now you tell me earlier on the call about your uncle.
Yeah. So, I call him Dad. They're like my second family, so I'll call them Mom and Dad, as well.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Katie Edwards. So my first job right out of high school, was working for Disney, but he was, he also, acted as well, but they used him as a model for, the animated feature of Pocahontas,
Oh, wow.
for different parts, of his body and stuff, to where, like, the forearms of him were like the arms of her dad. His nose was Grandmother Willow's nose. It's his nose.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. And so Disney,
Wow.
when they started the Pocahontas show live at
Right.
MGM Studios, they called him and asked if he had any, sons or nephews or anything that wanted to audition. So I was like, Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fun, you
Yeah,
know.
sure, sure. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. So you've learned the tribal dancing from the order, right? Is that where you learned?
Well, I started learning there when Katie and their family moved to Florida. Um, then I started learning from their older son, HA, you
Hmm.
know, and also, the middle child, James, and Claire's a sister. But, we all went to high school together too. And I started getting better and better because, they're really, really great dancers, really
I'm
great people.
showing some tribal pictures of when you were in performance, and that's at Disney. I have a picture with the cast, and you're in full, um, you know. Full costume, or full what's the technical term for what you wear?
Well, it's not a costume, just to let everybody know out there. Costumes you wear for, you play dressed up to be something else. So these are our outfits, or we also call them regalia.
Regalia.
These are
Okay.
our clothes, not clothes, but that's our dancing outfits.
Right, right.
What's funny is that we were, uh, with when Katie and the dance group Great Plains Dancers, we actually performed at then the Peabody. We performed at one of the ballrooms,
Hmm.
and the guests there were when the original cast of Pocahontas, they came to see us dance, which is
Oh,
funny,
wow.
because I was still in high school,
Right, right,
when we
right.
were
Yeah.
dancing that at
You,
Peabody,
right.
and then I got on when I graduated high school in '95. That's when I got on the show, But then looking back at pictures and them telling me stories,
Yeah.
yeah, we saw some native dancing. I'm like, that was me.
Now, so everything means something, right? What you wear,
Yeah,
and
they're
down to the feathers, and the other dress that you have on. Can you elaborate and go into a little bit and school us as far as what that
my
means?
da-
Or yeah.
yeah. My so the picture that you're looking at, my dancing outfit, where you see a bone breastplate, that area.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, well, the breastplate, of course, it was used as armor, to help deflect, blows to the body,
Oh,
deflect
okay.
arrows. But of
Okay.
course, the introduction of the rifles and bullets,
Right.
it would go
Right.
through them, and so it became more ornamental.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
our
And then
headdresses,
obviously the
but
feathers mean of what animals that or birds that reflect on the personality of the person. How does that all?
well, most of the feathers that we use, well, native uses, we use eagle feathers, but a lot of the eagle feathers that we have they're awarded to you.
Oh, okay.
Back then, if you're a warrior, you go to battle, or do something great, you're awarded a feather.
Right.
A person with a war bonnet wouldn't necessarily be a chief. It's just the amount of awards that had. You had the smaller
Oh,
war bonnets. You got the bigger ones, the longer trails. Then of
right.
course you got the guy on a horse with the feather going all the way to the ground. You know, ultimate warrior that guy is.
And then there's war paint and all this other head dressing, and there's obviously the chief has his whole headdress, and
Mm-hmm. Right.
yeah, no, that
War paint, of course, use it to intimidation. Also, as
right.
camouflage, because we introduced camouflage to after you know because when the English fought or when the Americans fought with red coats, blue coats, they just kind of fought in line, they
Right,
facing
right.
each other. We sort of introduced camouflage here, what they saw. Um, but going down through my outfit, uh, you also see that we wear chokers too. Here's an example of a choker.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, it's worn around our necks. But of course, that too is protection wise.
Yeah.
You see that on or around my legs. There's what we call aprons. Mine's made of a wool cloth,
Right.
with leather fringe on it, and that cloth represents that trade that we did with a lot of settlers
Mm-hmm.
Because in the beginning, we've used leather, for a lot of the clothing, but that trade we use a cloth. Fringe represents that leather that we used to use, those leather leggings. But down here it's hot. I don't want to
Right.
wear leather leggings.
Yeah.
So,
No, I don't blame you. So one of the cool features of this stream, Martin, is the chats, and so people have been chatting in, and obviously Sausalito is there. Frankie is on the chats.
shout out to
Salicito,
Frank.
Salicito. So he's like, of course, hi Martin, you're cool, and uh, I see. Oh, he's saying, are you a Comanche? A Comanche?
Yeah, so I'm on Comanche and also Aztec. Um, but when you go to powwows, it's all intertribal. So it's not just
Oh.
most of them are intertribal. So it's not just like a one tribe. So you're gonna have like different tribes that you're gonna meet.
So they welcome other tribe members into a powwow, or how does that all?
Yeah. So um, a powwow, just so a powwow is basically a gathering, to sing and dance.
Okay.
Modern powwow, just so you can visualize it, is so you have if it's outside, you have like the dance arena here in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
with your drums, either in the center or along the edge. Then you have the spectators, the audience members watching. Of course, you have the dancers. Then on the outside, you have vendors.
Right.
You have food vendors, merchandise vendors, vendors that sell supplies like bone, leather, and all the stuff that you want to go buy to make your stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So I mean, soon after, you got into doing some TV work and lending your heritage to Nickelodeon.
yes, so that was Nickelodeon was my
What
first.
what came first, the Nickelodeon stuff or the Pocahontas in Disney World?
Okay, so Pocahontas came first,
Okay.
um, and then there was we did a show. It was during the Pocahontas thing. I don't know if I told you, but one of our actors got a call from his agent, and they needed extra people for Sequest. Remember Sequest with Roy Schreider, the guy
Oh
from
yeah,
Jaws?
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So they filmed it at Universal Studios, and it was a German bar, but they converted it into like an Oriental thing. And so we were all sort of just extras in this Oriental bar.
Oh,
Uh,
I see. I see.
but the Nickelodeon came after Pocahontas. And what's funny about that show is that when we went to go audition, we auditioned at Universal Studios,
Mm-hmm.
and it was me and two other guys. And afterwards, it was during the same time Universal was doing their wrestling thing there, and so we were coming out of the backlot area to the parking lot. These little kids were coming up to us. Hey, can we get your autograph? You're wrestlers, right? And we're like, yeah, yeah, Indian Man or Native Joe or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm Tomahawk Man, whatever, and we're like, just
Yeah,
stay in
yeah,
school.
yeah, yeah. Are you a big guy? What's your?
Yeah, right now, I'm 6'2", 250,
Okay,
or
okay.
been working out,
Yeah, yeah.
not 6'2",
No,
I'm sorry.
nothing else to do, right?
I'm 6 foot. People are out there like, you're not 6'2", Martin. No, I'm 6 foot.
All right, so let's talk about Pocahontas. So you got assembled on this cast, and it's a live performance in front of people. It's it's a long run, right? I mean, it's a park, so it's repetitive. It's how many shows a day?
We did, remember it was like five. It was either about 5 shows a day, 7 if we had conventions at night.
Uh-huh.
But it was actually a short running show because it just ran from 95 to 96, compared to, other shows like Beauty and the Beast, which, man, I guess since the park had opened,
Yeah.
back then, yeah. But it was a fun show.
I have a clip. Let's see that.
Okay.
as the river cuts his path. Though the river's proud and strong, he will choose the smoothest course. That's why rivers live so long. They're steady as the steady beating dawn. The strange clouds that Pocahontas saw were the wind-filled sails of a boat as tall as trees. Englishmen from across the great ocean had come to our shores. The people from the boat had skin that appeared pale and sickly. Some even had hair on their faces. These Toss and Tosses, strangers, came looking for something. Something they could not find. They called it gold.
In 1607, we sailed the open sea. For glory, God, and gold, and on Virginia Company. For the new world is like heaven, and we'll all be rich and free. Or so we have been told by the Virginia Company. Or so we have been told by the Virginia Company.
The great chief was wary of these visitors, for they invaded the land and consumed everything in their path like ravenous wolves. They brought weapons that spouted fire and thunder.
That was great. I mean, that's got to be incredibly difficult just to do that repeatedly, every day. How many days did you say?
I mean, the show ran 7 days a week.
7 days a week. My
Yeah.
God.
But it was really a really good show. I mean, first and foremost, cast and crew, we were great people. We're like a family, both
Sure.
Cast and crew.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a separation.
It's like the circus, you put it all together and you see the faces every day and that's what makes the show better and better every show because timing gets better, everything gets better,
Yeah, and the next thing I really loved about the show was the show itself because most of the stage shows that you might see, they pick the actual movie or animated feature. This one took the storyline of the animated feature, and when you saw the whole show, it's basically the tribespeople listening to the story of Pocahontas, and when the apparition appears, then they start interacting with the apparition, ghost,
Right.
and that's where we sort of separate between tribes, and that's why you see stick figures acting like Englishmen, and all that. So. Yeah.
So I'm just looking back at the chats over here, and on Facebook, Franklin. You know Franklin too, huh?
Espinosa?
Yeah. Miami Beach, Franklin, my buddy. My God, he's watching. Hopefully, he's still watching on Facebook. And how do you know Franklin? Through just the business and being backstage and stuff because he's a graphics guru,
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. So what are some of the items that you have on the table there?
On the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first item I have, this is the headdress that most of us wear. The men dancers. This is called a roach. It's made of porcupine guard hair. The longer hair here.
Oh,
so
I see.
The porcupine guard hair is what keeps the porcupine warm. It's not the quills that stick to you.
That's
on
interesting.
mine is you see the blue tint there.
Yes.
That's actually either the underbelly or the deer tail that's used. The hairs of the deer tail that's used to dye. It's different colors now. The other piece I have here, it's just a roach spreader with 2 sockets that are beaded. My 2 gift brothers here, when I dance, they sort of represent like two warriors battling. Yeah, they move around and represent 2 warriors kind of battling amongst each other.
Right.
Here, of course, like I said, I showed you my choker.
Right.
This is just a beaded medallion a friend of mine gave me. And name's Frankie. Not Frank, but Frankie.
But Martin, is any of this artifacts or dressing? Is this come down from your family?
A lot of it depends. So some things that you do wear or you use, they are handed down. Some
Right.
things are handmade by the person who wears it, or gifts from other people.
Oh wow.
There's things
Okay.
things like the roach. It's harder to make, but
Yeah, sure.
so there's people that specialize in roach making, or bustle making. The big feather bustles that we wear on our backs.
Mhm.
But so if you can't make it, you can find somebody who can, and of course, you could buy it off of them. But
Right.
yeah, a lot of times you're making stuff. I sew. I use a sewing machine. The dress, and there's a picture of my wife and I I made her dress. But yeah, men
Wow.
sew too.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So aside from dancing, you're and performing, you're also an actor, and you were mentioning about Nickelodeon, and you did this thing. It was early on in your career with Nickelodeon, and I do have a clip. But do you want to set that up?
Yeah, it was a show called Mystery Files of Shelby. Basically, it was an intern girl who'd intern at a police station, and she basically ends up solving all the mysteries for the guy. But
Oh, okay.
I play a Seminole park ranger named Henry Osceola, and it's pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Let's take a look at the clip.
Pretty young.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Madison, you're building a golf course?
Yeah, I was till yesterday. My bulldozer uncovered that rifle.
Yeah, I read about that in the paper. Deviled egg?
Yeah, they think it's some big historical find. Some archaeologists from the college asked to come over and examine the area. Huh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, be careful. You don't want to step in that.
What is that?
We got a couple trouble spots around here. It's too much water in the sand.
You mean quicksand?
How? Not really. It's just, loose sand. Kind of watery. Okay, it's quicksand, but we're gonna have it drained, eh?
Well, you'd better. You could lose a whole golfer in there.
That's good. Lose a golfer. That's good.
Detective Heinlein, this is my intern, Shelby.
Dr. Dixie Pryor.
Would you like some chips?
Oh, no, thank you.
I'll take them.
Are those blueberries?
So, I would like to ask you a couple of questions about the stolen gun.
Well, it was a flintlock rifle, commonly used by the Seminole tribe. Actually, it's just like this one from my college's collection. Now, I've examined the area where the rifle was unearthed, and I haven't come up with anything else. So I'm moving over to the second site.
So the rifle looks exactly like this?
Not exactly. The barrel on the stolen rifle was bent. When the Seminoles buried their dead, they broke everything that went in the grave. An archaeologist should know that.
I do know that. It might have been bent in some other way. It was never examined by the experts.
Does it make a difference, Mr.
Henry Osceola. Yes, it makes a big difference. Because if this is a burial ground, it's illegal to disturb it by building a golf course on it.
Now, since the rifle is gone, we're going to have to wait until some other artifacts are uncovered before we can make that decision.
So you know Mr. Osceola?
I've met him. He's Seminole, works at the national park.
I told my grandfather to try to find some of these herbs. Does that look like kudzu to you?
Does kudzu look like poison ivy?
I thought we were trying to find some ranger.
We are. But if we run into Detective Heinlein, we just came for the kudzu.
Where's this Henry Osceola guy anyway?
Look!
What's in that burlap sack?
Maybe it's the flintlock rifle.
My keys!
Well, don't we feel silly?
Yeah, Henry Osceola was just planting a tree. It must have been wrapped in that burlap bag.
Oh, if he wasn't hiding something, then why was he watching us in the woods?
Because you were disturbing a nest of Florida scrub jays. They're endangered. We have to be extra careful with them.
We're all for that.
You were at the burial ground with the police officer.
Me? Yeah, that's right. That was me.
Did you find the rifle yet?
No, I'm just an intern. But I've been reading a lot about the Florida Seminoles since the rifle got stolen. It's a fascinating culture.
They're amazing warriors.
I love the pretty fabric.
Is it true that they're the only tribe that never surrendered to the U.S. government?
It's true. We're called the Unconquered. We didn't want to be shipped out west away from our homes, so we retreated back into the swamps to live. And nobody could ever catch us.
So you park ranger, detective, boy, all wrapped into one over there. That's pretty cool stuff. And you were young there, man. You were.
Yeah, I was pretty young.
Yeah. But I tell you, very poised in front of the camera. Very, very natural. It's good. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, it was just fun, you know. And the place where you saw the construction site, that was actually when Universal was building Hard Rock, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it was the construction site for Hard Rock. And we were filming one line. You know, we messed up the first time, and then we were doing it again, and lightning struck right there. It was like, oh. So we're like, hurry! So we, you know, composed, did the line, got the shot, and then we took off.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's so funny. Well, I tell you, Franklin is saying, oh, and Vodka Guru. I don't know. I guess you know, he's. I told him, you know, I was speaking of Franklin being a graphics guru, and he's also a vodka guru. So he set me straight on that one.
What's cool? Real quick, what's cool about the Shelby Woo is that the wardrobe girl that was with me, her name is Terry Binion, and great person, and she's also a musician too. We work together, you know, because I'm with IATSE here, you know, local 631 here in Orlando, and she works IATSE local 631. So when I first joined the union, I saw her, and I was like, Terry, you know.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so yeah, the first shot with the there was a shot, you know, with me. I'm basically planting a tree. So the pants.
It was so long, you know, that show. I had to cut it down, but
Right.
I got all your clips in there, and you'll see it. I mean, unfortunately, you can't see what I do during this show, but you'll view it later, and hopefully you'll give me a thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, you've done the Nickelodeon stuff. Now you're comfortable in front of the camera, being an actor. But you know, the work stuff, you know, and that's how you make a living. You know, working in outfield and working with special people that you come in contact with. I have I'm showing some pictures of you with chains around your neck with some other woman backstage. It looks like you're working RoboCams. You know, and you know, it's funny that the people in our business, when we see them backstage, you're like, oh, you know, he's a graphics guy, he's, you know, he's the video guy, he's the audio guy, but you never think, you know, okay, what else does he do with his life? And you got a lot of interesting stories to tell for Thursday Road Story, you know.
Right. Oh, there's tons of stories to tell.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh no, especially with the business and everything. But
Yeah.
you did something for the NBA. You're in front of a microphone.
Yeah, it was the NBA All Stars.
The All Stars. Yeah. This is great stuff. And we can't forget about you know, Salcedo with the Clinton Global Initiative. That perfect timing with Frankie and you at that show. And so tell me a little bit about how you got involved with Frank with that show.
Well, you know, so the Clinton Global Initiative, you know, so you know, I freelance with the company, Media Solutions, and well, I'm you know, blessed to start working with them. You know, I was working here in Orlando, you know, and through the union and on a show, and I was working with they were, it was Jerry Bernard and Kurt Rector were, the traveling people. Kurt's local, but Jerry traveled then, and they liked my work ethic, and they asked, "Hey, you like to freelance?" I was like, "I never have, but share." So started working with them, and then after a couple of years, they started, Kurt, encouraged me to learn camera, and then Jerry, they also made another position called screen supervisor. We would supervise the building of large Stewart screens, so they really need to be taken care of,
Yeah,
And,
those are a pain in the neck. Those Stewart screens.
Yeah. So this is that was the gig that we did through them, and it's on that show I was basically monitor king. I would have to build like 80 to 100 monitors with the local local one crew, which they're fabulous guys and girls.
Right.
And so during the show, Frank would do all the signal to him, and so during the show, we would basically be eye candy. We'd be on the suit, tie, we'd roam all the floors to make sure everything was running good. And
oh my god,
we GQing it around, all these people attending, celebrities that attend there for the organizations that they were representing, because it's mainly about networking, trying to get people to help out, to actually do good around the world, but there's a lot of fun stories.
Yeah, no, that served a good purpose. So now, I have 48-hour project. You want to tease that? And I have 2 clips I want to show.
Okay. So the 48-hour film project, basically it's, I think it's like a contest, well, Kurt Rector, buddy of mine, Mike Vederick, and Stephen DeWoody, they got together, they wanted to do this. And so they were asking other, friends, hey, we're trying to do this. There's this contest going on. We want to try it.
Yeah, that was a few years ago, wasn't that, or something?
Yeah, they do it every year, but we only did it for 3 years because, a lot of times we can't get together to do it.
Right.
So they got together along with Steve Martin, not that Steve Martin, Steve Martin with Omni Productions, So we did it, in 2015, 2016, and 2018, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And so, I went in there first. I was like, I can help out, but, I want to do it as an actor, and they did. The first one we did was called Mistake Out, second one, Mistake Out was a cop movie, a little short, so the premise is basically the 48-hour project people,
you make the film in 48 hours, right? Is that?
Yeah, you have to write. They give you a couple of genres, and then at that moment you got to write it.
What a great premise! I mean, just to, because that you have to get your creative juices flowing. Everything is quick, and you got to have the team ready to go to shoot and to edit and all that stuff. And
and the best part, I mean, what I love about that festival, the 48-hour project thing.
Yeah.
They open it up to everybody. There was a high school team,
Oh, wow.
If they open it up to people who's never done it before, to seasoned veterans, it's open to everybody.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's what I like about it. And you get awesome videos, you get weird videos, but they range between, it has to be between 5 to 7 minutes long,
right.
to qualify, not qualify, but, to actually be in the running of,
So now I have 2 clips. I have one is called The Interview, and the other one is I don't know if it's, what's the title on the guy that plays Santa?
Nick Natt.
What is it?
So the title is called Nick Natt.
Nick Natt. So The Interview, I'll show that one first. You had not so much of a bigger role in the interview that you did in Santa, Nick Nack. So set up in the interview, because again, I had to cut this, but I want you to set it up.
Okay, so the interview, it's under the horror genre, but basically we're the 7 deadly sins. We work in an office, and one of our guys died. So we're, a lady comes in to interview for the job position, but she doesn't know, what we are. And then, of course, later on, she finds out, freaks out, and takes off. But I was typecast by Kurt Rector for the position of lust, because of all the experiences that we have, on the road. Not that, I'm like all a player or anything, but, I get approached by all these ladies and take pictures and all this other stuff.
Let's take a look.
Hi.
May I help you?
Is this 667 Damien Way? I'm looking for Seven Sins Enterprises. Or is that the building next door?
That's our main office building. This is our staffing office.
Like human resources?
Somewhat.
I'm Amy Taylorson. I'm here for an interview.
Oh, yes. The new candidate. Let me see if we are ready for you. Please wait here. Security is quite tight. Don't wander away.
Where is she?
She was here just a minute ago.
Oh, sorry. I was just checking my emails.
Huh. So, you're a scuba diver?
Yes.
Well, do you go deep?
Oh,
We are waiting.
Oh, yes, please. Here, follow me.
Oh, it's so hot in here.
Everyone, this is Amy Taylorson, the candidate for the vacant position.
We're so glad to have you here for this interview. You come highly recommended.
And I've seen your resume. It's impressive. Very impressive.
Yes. Due to a recent departure, we need to urgently fill a position on our project management team.
If you don't mind my asking, why did the previous manager leave?
Burnout! He couldn't take the pressure. It's a high pressure position. We have to deliver.
So, you have any questions for us?
Well, do you have offices overseas?
We're everywhere.
I see. Well, what sort of projects are you working on?
I have a lot of military contracts.
My division does a lot of work in the political arena.
I've been working with the fashion industry.
Fast food. Do a lot of work with those guys.
I'm in corporate acquisitions. The more, the better.
I do a lot of work in the film industry. Could do a lot of good work together.
Wow, a lot of different projects.
Our CEO requires us to be influential in every arena.
Will I be meeting the CEO?
Yes.
I tell you, I don't know you, Martin, but I think you nailed it there.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So I mean, I have the Santa one, and that's a comedy. And again, 48-hour project. And you show you're throughout this whole clip here. But you want to set that up?
Yeah. So this is, I play a set of twins. As Craig Rainbow and I are twin brothers. It's funny because he's white and I'm native, but we play twin. We're like washed out child stars,
Okay.
And we need to make some money, so we figured we'd kidnap Santa Claus to get a reward or something. But my wife actually plays. She plays the White House secretary.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's.
But I do my own stunts.
You do your own. All right, now let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Hey, you old guy! Who are you?
Why, Santa Claus, of course.
Get that guy!
Hey, what are you guys? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, whoa! What are you guys doing? Come on, come on, boys! Hey, what are you? What are you morons?
Get in the cross! Go, go, go!
Hey!
Go, go! Just one-man operation. Go, go!
All right, boys. Wait, hey! Let go of me. Look, where are you going? What are we? Hey! Ow! Oh, yeah. Come on, where are we going? Hey, wait.
Stop
Get this thing off
squirming.
of me, will you? Get this thing off. What the hell is that?
It's pepper spray. Made it myself.
You are an idiot.
I'm not an idiot.
I said to use ground pepper.
I thought you said round pepper. I'm not an idiot. Don't call me an idiot, Chris.
Wait, I was just gonna sit down, you know.
We're right here.
I need my rest. Wait a minute. I know you guys. You're those Brown Street twins, aren't you? You know, from that TV show back in the day. What the hell was it called?
Crisscross!
Right, yeah, perfect. I can see it now. The headlines. Former child stars kidnapped St. Nick. I've been knick-knacked. So, what's the plan?
Our plan is, fat boy, we're gonna get a ransom for you. The world is gonna pay big to get you back. We're gonna be rolling in the dough.
The world is gonna pay? What, you have a phone number for the world? You guys are totally incompetent.
Shows you what you know, smart guy. I got the UN on speed dial right there. Watch this.
You want to sit on my lap?
No!
For me.
Thank you for calling the United Nations. How can I direct your call? I'll transfer you now. Please hold.
Buenos días. Has llamado a las Naciones Unidas. ¿Cómo lo puedo ayudar?
We got Santa Claus hostage. We need $1 bajillion visit.
¿Qué? ¿Cómo? Disculpe. De ninguna manera. Absolutamente de ninguna manera.
What was that all about?
I don't know. Some guy named K. Como.
Morons.
Oh man. You know, I could definitely see that being something to laugh at. You know, comedy. You kind of kidnapping Santa and.
Yeah, I don't know if you're sure if you noticed when I jumped into the back of the pickup truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could kind of. My pants sort of fell a little lower.
I was gonna say, did that hurt, man? Because it sure.
No, I didn't. I didn't hit my head. Everybody thought I hit my head.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
are you okay? Like, I'm fine. What?
Did you have like knee pads on or something under your pants?
No. It was the trunk had the back of the truck had that like a plastic bedding inside.
Okay.
A little cushion.
Too funny.
It was fun.
Too fun.
With out of all three videos that we filmed, the knick-knack was we were able to go to different locations, multiple locations.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. Instead of staying in one spot. But.
So tell me about your Elvis. I just gotta come right out and say it, man. You're Elvis.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So let's touch on the whole Elvis band. You have a band that you play Elvis. You play the part. You dress up, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, the band I'm with, you know, it's the Rogue Scholars Band here in Kissimmee, Florida. We started about 2009-ish. Everybody, when we started, everybody in the band except for me were professors of Valencia College, and all of our performances would be in the auditorium of the college, and they would be for fundraisers for a group that wanted to raise money to whatever cause they wanted to do it for.
Right.
So 100% of the proceeds would go to that cause, and it was fun. You know, we started out a small band. Throughout the years, we grew to like a bigger band, a lot of people. And then, you know, kind of came back to small. This past 4 or 5 years, we branched out away from there. You know, wanted to try to make some money.
It's cool because I'm running some pictures of you in Elvis costume, and it's
yeah. So the Elvis thing. I mean, I grew up, you know, listening to oldies, Elvis, and all that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're a cover band. You know, we cover songs from the '60s till today. You know, of course, I do Elvis. A lot of times, I mean, when we did a lot of shows at Valencia, I would dress up and do the songs in the beginning.
Yeah.
I would leave.
Yeah.
Then I'd run back as Martin. You know, I'm late. You know, and they're like, "You missed Elvis." You know, but sometimes I'd dress up at, say, the bar. You know, we play at this place called Bloodhound Brew in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, I have another picture of you in action singing and a band shot. So I do have a clip of you singing "Proud Mary."
Okay, well, you know, Franklin has experienced Elvis live.
He's experienced Elvis alive.
Yes, Elvis sang to him for his birthday.
Oh, no way.
Way, man.
Wow, I didn't hear that one. Okay. All right, let's listen to you.
Okay.
Elvis, I think so.
And this looks like an outdoor type of bar too.
Yeah, it's like a patio. You know, it's plastic windows to roll up.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. I mean, you weren't in costume though. I must admit.
It's hard. It's kind of hard to do it at that bar.
Yeah.
I only did it one time. But yeah, I like a you know, like a stage auditorium or, you know, actual front of an audience type of setting.
Right.
The bar is a little different because, you know.
Yeah, people are drinking, milling around. Yeah, when you're on stage, it's all you, and that's good.
I don't like it all me, you know.
Yeah.
but no, you know, like I said, I have fun with the band. You know, a friend of mine, you know,
Right.
Al Grosha, who started the band. We went to high school together, and you know, it's great. You know, we have a blast with it. He sings, and you know, we swap songs, but
Okay.
you know, if I'm not there, he's the main singer of the band.
I do have a clip of you running off stage. It was like, I don't know, you sent me this clip. It's maybe 7 seconds long. I don't know, but I want, because it's funny, it's hysterical. It's part, I don't know. Tell us.
Okay, I'll tell you for the, you know, I'll explain it, then run the clip. Okay, so I was working White Christmas. I do wardrobe, you know, through the Union Hall here in the Dr. Phillips Theater, and so we're working White Christmas, and I believe it was this past December. But so me and the other guy, Nick, you know, we were dressed in the ensemble guys of White Christmas, and what we didn't know was that there's during the show there's a lighting cue that
Right.
pops up, but it's not used anymore. You know, they never changed it, you know, turn it off, but you know, they don't use it light cue anymore. It doesn't do anything, but turns on. So
Right.
what the ensemble guys do is they invite the guys that are dressing them on stage while the show is happening to take a group picture,
Mhm.
and the light turns on, and they freak the wardrobe people out, like, oh, the curtains opening, and you take off running, and then you look around, you look back, and you know the ensemble guys are just laughing their butts off, you know? And they do that at every stop they do, so that's what happened.
All right, let's take a look at that. You know, some of the things that, you know, just are funny that you guys horse around on the stage, and that's
You
too
know,
funny.
one great thing that I like to do, especially if it's a show that I have fun with,
Yeah.
wardrobe show, you know, is especially if I'm if I dress the principal too. If I'm having a blast, I'll dress up as Elvis
Mhm.
on one of the Saturdays, you know, for the evening show. And I did The King and I, and so I was dressing the King. His name is Martin Olvera, and so I dressed up as Elvis because you know the King had to dress the King
Yeah,
at least
of
one
course.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we took pictures together. I wore his cape. You know, he put the glasses on and everything. It was a great time.
So, what's your next step now? I mean, I know that we're, you know, still in what we are as a country here, but when things get back into action, are you going to start up the band again, or are you going to be doing more tribal dancing? What's next?
All the above. You know, our band leader, you know, Al. You know, he's already been talking to all of us about at least just rehearsing. You know.
Yeah.
But we, you know, of course, we have to be safe too.
Yeah, I know that, you know, there was a moment there where the bars were open down there, and but I don't know if there's any bands that were playing
think so.
locally, and you know, doing stuff that we saw, you know, you do, but I think it's too early for that.
Right, yeah.
But you know,
we are doing, native wise. Let's see. Well, I had a Zoom meeting today. You know, for the past, I think they've done it for 11 years. It's called the Native Rhythm Festival, and you know, friends of mine have done it in the past. You know, and song and dance. You know, but you know, I've never done the festival before, but I've never attended it.
I see.
But another friend of mine, Jim Sargis, and I, we do an East Meets West show, and the lady Martha, who's sort of heading this project, you know, has invited us to actually do it, but they want to do it virtual. So
okay.
So it's gonna be like a virtual festival, you know. So we're today was more a brainstorming idea. You know, it's in November, so we have a little bit of time, but you know, we might have to do at least pre-record stuff. That way they have it on hand, and you know, they could do the festival that way. Yeah. So I mean, and then of course, you know, corporate shows right now.
Yeah. Corporate shows is we're in standby. That's what I like to say, standby. Franklin was chiming in about 5 minutes ago. I know Terry, great person. I don't know who's Terry.
Probably Terry Binion, the one I was talking about.
Oh.
The wardrobe lady who's also a musician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Hawaii and other places, missed a performance this year, so I guess you know, he watches you. That's good. That's good.
Speaking of different locations, I want to bring this up because it's a cool thing. You know, I'm in a Native museum in Alabama.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's the place is called Moundville. It's in Alabama, Moundville, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the like 10-minute reoccurring 3D video in the museum, and it was cool because it was filmed here in Orlando. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you're in the museum, but on video.
Yes.
So you're doing dancing and
No. So I'm playing a part. I'm playing the medicine man storyteller, and so I basically tell the story of the different levels of like the underworld, the middle world, and the upper world of that timeline.
Oh wow!
And
That's
they
cool.
age me. So I started out as a young guy. They age me. At the end, I'm an old guy, and then I fade away into the stars.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And it's a great museum. So
yeah,
you guys, anybody in Alabama, Mountville, south of Tuscaloosa,
okay,
head to Mountville, Alabama, and check out the museum.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on tonight, Martin. It was really great to know you and to speak with you about your heritage and knowing what that's all about and how that is all worked as far as as performance dancing and that's wonderful and for you to be in our business again it's something how a person like yourself, you don't know what that person does on the crew and their second life or whatever, and
right?
it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I appreciate you coming on Buzz Talk Live.
Yeah, no problem. I had tons of fun today, talking with you and sharing with you.
Thanks, man.
A lot of people, like you said, a lot of people don't know the backstory.
No, they don't. I mean, as a kid growing up, seeing the performances, it's kind of a blur, and as you grow older, you tend to learn more about certain cultures and how they, the background of it, and like yourself, to have somebody who actually does the performance to come on and discuss it is really cool. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. And as Franklin said, it's a learning show tonight. It's too much. It's too much. But thanks again for coming on, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me on.
All right.
And had a blast.
Yeah,
thank you, everybody.
All right. Stay right there.
Okay.
Hey, that was awesome. Martin is he hits all the charts as far as poise and the personality and his talent. What a great guy, and happy I now know him. And so hopefully we'll work together in the future when I'm down in Orlando or around the country, wherever. But good guy. So this Sunday night, we're going to go back down to Florida, actually, and visit with Tim Baker, who's a creative director. He does broadcasting and commercials. So we're going to visit with him on an industry perspective night on Sunday night at 9 p.m. So tune in for that one. That's all for tonight. I appreciate the viewers. I appreciate chats. Again, thanks for tuning in, and good night, America.